Hey folks, this is Nate Moore bringing you your intentionality tip of the week. It's my goal to help you create a life that's lived on purpose with purpose. This week's tip is that gentle and soft reminder that sometimes we have to pause in order to put things into perspective. There's a saying that I like to live by. The main difference between a blessing and a curse is the perspective in which you look at the situation. I mean, that has rung so true in my life on so many occasions. Perhaps it's been true in your life as well. Have you ever had that scenario perhaps where you were laid off from a job and you were distraught, maybe got behind on your bills, but ultimately were offered the dream job you'd always wanted, and it was an offer that would not have come had you not been available? Was that a curse or was that a blessing? It depends on what perspective you look at it. As a society, somewhere along the way, we made the decision that we would look at everything from a worst case scenario perspective. When things happen, we always look at the negative side of it. And we don't pause to look at what else could come of the situation. We don't pause to take things in and look at it from a different perspective. When you look at things from the worst case scenario, you expect the worst case to happen. It's been proven that when you think about something negatively, the physiological effects on your body are almost no different than if that thing actually happened to you. So when you think about the worst case scenario, you go through all the emotions, the stress, the anxiety, the heartache over something that hasn't even happened yet. And even if it does happen, that doesn't mean that's the end of the story. I'm reminded of a friend of mine who this summer was at work and collapsed out of dehydration and had to be taken away via the ambulance. When he got to the hospital, it was discovered that he had some kidney issues and some other health ailments that, had it not been diagnosed, could have possibly led to significantly worse health or possibly death. At the time that he was dehydrated and feeling fatigued and passed out, there was no way that could have been a good situation. But when everything was said and done, when it was put into perspective, he's still here for his wife and his children and his family and his friends. That's what I'm talking about, folks. Wait to see things to the end. Don't replace commas with periods. Don't end sentences that have the ability to continue on. One of the things that I remind myself of is that whatever situation I'm dealing with, however tough it may be, there are billions of people out there that would trade places with me in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. And when I think about that, it really puts things into perspective to say, is my issue really as big as I think it is? Another thing that I remind myself of is that what if God came down and said, okay, Nathan, you're dealing with this problem. I'm going to take this problem away from you. But in order for me to take it away from you, you got to tell me who I should give it to. Think about that. Think about the biggest problem you faced or the biggest challenge you face. And if God told you that he would take that problem away from you, but you got to pick a person to give it to, who could you give it to in good conscience? I couldn't give it to anybody. So what that did for me was it allowed me to put it in perspective to realize that the problem that I'm facing was designed for me and that there's something that can come out of it. So rather than looking at the problem, let me look beyond the horizon at the solution and what I'm going to benefit from the problem. My name is Nathan Moore, and this is your intentionality tip of the week. Hope you have a blessed one.